Hi, this is Happy Bird from happybirdscraftinghaven.com, and today I'm going to show you how to make a stretch bracelet that will actually hold up. And I've been using this method for years and it's worked very well. I've given bracelets to family, friends, and their bracelets have held up, and so I want to show you how I do it. So I did make these two bracelets right here ahead of time, because I decided I wanted to turn this into a trio of bracelets. And the first thing I did was I picked up what I wanted to be my focal bead. I found these at Michael's and they had little roses on them, and I noticed the colors. They had greens and pinks and whites. So that's kind of what I went with. And I picked up some beads that were white or crystal clear, pink, a couple of different types of pink, and then green, a couple of different types of green. And they were all in between, I'd say 5mm and 8mm. And I worked in sets of 3, and I spread this bracelet apart so you could see what I mean. So here I have a set of 3, a focal bead, a set of 3, focal bead, set of 3. I find that it works best that way for bracelets. And I did the same thing on these. Set of 3, spacer bead, set of 3, spacer bead. So you kind of get my point. Same thing here. Set of 3, spacer bead, set of 3, spacer bead. Okay. Now, years ago, the only place that you could find PowerCord was through online beading sites. But I noticed they carry this at Michael's now. I use the 0.8mm, and I love this cord. I think it is superior to Stretch Magic, but that's just my personal opinion. It's no fray elastic bead stringing cord, and this is in clear. And then you're going to need a tiny little bulldog type clip, and the 2.5 by 2.5mm crimp tubes. This is by Beadsmith. It's silver plated. And then some GS Hypo cement glue. Okay, so I laid out all my beads. I wanted these to measure approximately 7.5 inches. And so I'm going to take about a foot of PowerCord. Now, I know that seems like a lot of cord, but I like more than I need to work with, rather than cutting it right down to the inch and then struggling trying to tie it off the way I do. So, oops, put my little bulldog clip at the end first, because that's what's going to hold your beads on. Okay. So I'm just going to start stringing. Like so. I'll move these other bracelets out of the way. And then I will keep stringing here. And these actually go pretty quickly once you have everything laid out. And I kind of measured it ahead of time and to see roughly what would make 7.5 inches. And I'm almost done here. Let these fall to the end. And pick up a few more beads. These make wonderful gifts. Once you know how to do these, you have no limits. It's awesome because you can make these for Mother's Day, fundraisers. You can add little charms with jump rings to these bracelets. You can make these for Christmas, and everyone really seems to love them when I make these, especially for Christmas. I, make different bracelets, and then I'll set them out on a bracelet display, and the ladies pick them out, whatever they want. Some might pick only one or two, and others might pick three. Okay, so we are at the end. Alright, take this off. And what I did was we're going to put a little crimp tube in here, and this is what's going to hold, and it holds very well. And I don't know if I told you this, but this is the Beadsmith brand. And if they don't have Beadsmith at your local craft store or beading store, you can always go online and purchase this. Okay, so I slid the crimp tube on. You can start at either end. I'm right-handed, so I'm going to start on this side, the left side, by stringing this on the left side first. Okay. Okay, now you see it's on there. So now I'm just going to kind of pull this just slightly so I can slide the right side of the cord through that same crimp tube. Like that. And as you can see, here's the close-up. And I'm pulling, pulling, pulling. So basically all I did was crisscross these wires through that crimp tube. Okay. So now you're going to not pull this really hard, but just kind of top like this. And you're going to need a pair of the chain nose pliers that are the sharp point. You don't want to use anything like these, the flat nose pliers, because you have to get in there. So you need these pointy chain nose pliers in order to get in there. Okay, and what you're going to do is you're going to come in just with the tips and squeeze in the middle very hard. Then you're going to let go and squeeze this side of the tube and this side, like so. And then once you do that, you're going to cut these off, like so. Then you're going to come in with some GS Hypo Cement. They carry this at Michael's. And you're going to put a little bit, just a dab, of this glue right here on both sides of this crimp tube. Then you're going to let it dry, and it'll dry clear. Now, to help facilitate putting this back into this little tiny needle hole, just lay the needle part of the glue on your finger, and then when this will help you to slide that in easily, see? Otherwise you'll be all day trying to put it in. Okay, and so now you have a set of 3 beautiful bracelets. You can put this in the middle, and then one on this side, and one on this side, and you have a beautiful little set here. You can also tie these off with some beautiful ribbon, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. You can cut these into a length, whatever length you want, and just put a little bow here. And then cut these off. You can put a little bit of no fray at the ends if you don't want the ribbon to fray. And then you have a nice little set here. You can always adjust this, cut it more or less to your liking. So you have a beautiful little set to give. Okay? Now I'm going to untie this bow for just a second because I want to show you something. Just for the skeptics here. I have had questions in the past when I've been asked about how I tie off my bracelets, and I had the same question, well, isn't it noticeable where you put the crimp tube? Okay, I'm going to move my camera on top, and you can pause this, and I have these up close, and this will be actually closer than any kind of bracelet will be to anyone's face, unless you're putting it right up to their eyeballs, because this is literally inches away. Alright, now I want you to look carefully. You can pause the video and see if you can find right away where I tied it off. So go ahead and do that. Okay. Now, I just did that to prove a point. Because most people, when I hand them these bracelets, they're looking at them and they're oohing and awing over them. And they're saying, well, where did you tie it off? And I have to point it out, and they'll say, oh, okay. So this part here goes on the back of the wrist. So anyway, I just wanted to show that. So I hope you really enjoyed this video. I'm going to tie my ribbon, put that back on. And if you don't want to use this type of ribbon, you can also go to the Dollar Tree and buy some pretty organza ribbon. They have a lot of beautiful colors. Purple, red, green, yellow, all kinds of colors. Okay. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video, and thank you so much for watching, and God bless each and every one of you. Bye-bye.